Hello, hello. As you can tell, I'm sitting outside. It's a little breezy today, which is nice. Hopefully, the blowing hair does not distract you, but nevertheless, this is one for all of my friends, family, clients who like to be in control of things. But before we get into that, I actually want to share a little story with you all. So, I recently found myself in preparation mode for the possibilities of a particular outcome. And what I mean by that is that I had plans with someone and they called to ask if they could invite someone else. Normally, I am the more the merrier type of person. But in this particular case, the person being added was someone who I don't really have the best relationship with. And it's also a relationship that I've been wanting to work on. So I agreed that, yeah, sure, invite them. Well, as someone whose best friend is control, I immediately went down the path of preparing for this extra person's presence. I spent literally, no joke, you all, I spent days thinking of if X happens, I will respond with Y. And if A happens, I will respond with B. All the different scenarios. I was doing all sorts of mental gymnastics and emotional weight carrying to play out all the possibilities so that I could be prepared for anything, so that I could be in control of what I could control. Then it turns out that this extra person is in fact not going to join us. And I very quickly started beating myself up about all the time and emotional energy I had spent preparing for something that wasn't even going to happen. And this is something that I do quite often. I spend lots of time, mental energy, and emotional energy on preparing for things that never come to fruition. And it's something I want to change. So I had a coaching session yesterday. Yes, even coaches have coaches. But I was processing this with my coach and came away with a major tool that I'm super excited to try out myself and also share with you as you face similar situations. You see, at the point where I made the decision to invite this third person, I had released all control of the outcome. At that point, I had no control whether the person would say yes or no, whether they would actually show up, or how they would show up. At that moment in this process, there was nothing for me to control. But because control is my best friend and we're attached at the hip, I went looking for things to control. And that's where I spin down the rabbit hole to prepare for all the possibilities. I always have control over how I respond, so I might as well prepare those responses, right? Wrong. This is where it's a waste. It was totally unnecessary for me to go into preparation mode because I had no idea what I was preparing for. The next decision in this process was not one that I could make. The next decision was one that only that third person could make. Would they accept or decline the invitation? So this is what I walked away with from my coaching session yesterday and what I want to offer to you. In those moments where you find yourself looking for something to control, take a step back and ask yourself, what's the decision? If the decision at hand is completely out of your control and 100% in someone else's hands, you have to release that. Once that person makes their decision, by all means, prepare, plan, do the mental gymnastics. At that point, you know it's in service to you to do that preparation. But if you do not have a decision to make immediately in front of you, if there are other decisions that have to be made first by other people, release that urge to find something to control. At this point in the decision-making process, it's a waste of your time as well as your mental and emotional energy to do anything more. And all of these resources are precious to you. Hold on to them until you have a decision to make immediately in front of you. Then do the gymnastics of planning your response, preparing for your reaction. I hope this is something you'll consider. I know I am super eager to continue to learn about my relationship with control as I implement this strategy myself. And I'd love to hear how it goes for you as well. You all have an amazing weekend.